Maybe when I have a 1 day a week podcast, when I retire, we can have every franchise. You know what I mean? Like, but right now, so the point is, I think Bethenny. So I'm a very self-aware and I'm fair to people. So I think and it's like when I saved you from me. I think Bethenny was she sees stars. Rachel Leviss. Yes, actually, Bethenny, you can probably manipulate doe-eyed Rachel Leviss to do what you want every single week. Duh. Rachel will just be like, hey, Bethenny, what should I do? You can't manipulate and get the money grab on your own from Linnethia leaks. Have you turned on the damn TV? So I just think personally, I think this is a falling out. I think Bethenny was moving fast and making money with these 10-minute episodes, as you should. Just be honest about it. And I don't know what the agreement was, but I guarantee you Bethenny's agreement, if Nene got anything, was not fit. It was way like 80-20, whatever it was. It was Bethenny's money and Nene was getting a scrap. So like, I think Bethenny underestimates that, you know, you can't manipulate someone that's strong and has their own presence. So I do think personally, before we get to RHOA and everything, but it is so layered. So yes, I think it is. I think it's a falling out just from that point of view. But now we have some other thoughts, like you said, like, right. So is it like who's playing who? And I have so many scenarios of who's fucking over who and who. These people are playing housewives off air, and I love it. Like, right, is Bethenny like starting to see, Nene ain't as disgruntled as I am. Like, I thought Nene was in the trenches with it. Look, misery loves company. When you're fired from your job, like I said, and you're outside with your desk, you're holding your desk, and your best friend walks out, your sweet mate, you're like, oh, yay, it's not just me. I think that is a possibility. Yep, that Bethenny is like, wait a second. She sued the network. I thought like we were in this together. This bitch wants to go back. So that is possible. And Bethenny could have said, bye, bitch. So there is that scenario, even though I think probably it's just a true falling out from both sides because there's two. But now let's factor in. Have we thought of this?
Why?
I mean, because the thing is, part of me is like, you go, girl, to Nene. Like, if Nene's really like, I ain't your bitch, don't hang your shit on me, give me my bag, and she kicked Bethenny to the curb, bravo to Nene, bravo. But like, you're basically telling Bethenny to go fuck herself, like my good friend Ebony K. Williams. She's really a good friend of mine, for real. But could this be a different story? And then I say, Nene, you fucking idiot. Could this also be Bravo? Could this be Bravo saying, you know, like, we don't like, you know, we're afraid of Nene, which this is housed in microaggressions. I'm reading Ebony's book now, Bet on Black. This is housed in some microaggressions. Sarah's like, oh God, the whole audience is going to roll their eyes. But I mean, is it like you fear Nene kind of, but you really fear Bethenny? And are you now calling Nene and dangling a carrot like, you know, distance yourself from this wicked bitch, Bethenny, because we maybe, don't get your hopes up, Nene, maybe. And that's the definition of insanity. I mean, I've dealt with Bravo in my career. They're all empty promises. Let me just be honest with you. So you have to say, fuck you. I'm going to do it my way because all this is just bullshit. You know, I've tried it your way. I tried so is Bravo saying to Nene, distance yourself from this psycho because we're so afraid of her and the reality reckoning and lawyers, and maybe just take her off your Instagram, erase everything, girl. You want the carrot, you want the peach, little peach is over here. You better distance. So step one, girl, good girl, Nene, good girl, with 2 exclamations. Hey, Nene, it's Andy, good girl, good girl. Now, if that's the case, you're an idiot. Right? Then she's an idiot because now you're being promised some fucking peach over here. And I don't know if that's going to happen, girl. So now you're distancing yourself from a bag. Maybe you could have had a bag with Bethenny. And now you're distancing yourself from the evil Bethenny because they view you as less of a threat. That's where I have there's some microaggressions in there on Bravo's part and Andy's part. But let's skip over that because apparently people don't want to hear about that. They roll their eyes and they think of season 13 of RHOA, even though I thought it was so good. Is Bravo promising Nene something and she's just following along like a dog with her tail between her legs? Because I hope not, because that's pathetic. Because now you're being led down a road. You got to call me, Nene. You got to call me. This is not the road. Bravo's not going to do it, girl. They're not going to help you.
I do agree with you. in the way that nothing, we're playing chess here. You know what I'm saying? Like, Francis, Andy Cohen, this is not their first rodeo. They are a network that is playing at the highest level. So nothing would, what would make the reality reckoning look like a sham more than if somebody who alleged racism in a lawsuit comes back? Because if it was so bad, why would you come back, even for a girls' trip? Because I think they're playing her for maybe a girls' trip, right? Kind of like the Brandy thing that happened. Brandy was being set up for this big return. And then we have the Carolyn Manzo incident, and then we'll probably never see Brandy again, right? So, I mean, nothing would deflate Bethenny's whole thing more, right, than Bravo going, well, Nene's back. And, how bad can we be if she's willing to come back, right? At the same time, I feel like they're just dangling a carrot, like you said. I think you and I have both worked for corporate, and we've left corporate, and you always get phone calls to come back, because even though you say you've been fired all the time, I guarantee you're a person who gives 110%. I think a lot of people listening to our podcast are probably very high achieving people who give a ton to their jobs. I did. So you always get these carrots dangling, come in for an interview. Let's talk. We've got this idea for you. And then usually it doesn't amount to anything, because it's kind of the same old, same old. So I still go back to, and what was Andy Cohen going to say at BravoCon when he knows everybody is filming him and New York Post is picking up? They're like, the Post is like in the front row, page 6. Of course, he's not going to be like, yeah, I never want to speak to that bitch again, like fucking rotten hell, this like trying to take us down, right? So he's going to always play the like, I would always welcome her back. I don't think there's ever a future there. And to your point, I hope she's not falling for it. I would love to have been a fly on the wall about what's going on with Bethenny and Nene. I don't know if it's a falling out per se yet. I think both parties are smart enough to just keep it real civil, but something's brewing. Something is brewing, because I would think that Nene and Bethenny had a financial split on those pods. And as you and I know, people come back and listen to your podcast a month later, a year later. So it would be in her best interest to keep promoting this partnership if things were good. So it's
and by the way, is Carlos King's interview with Nene still on her Instagram? Probably. So that argument is out the window. Right.
I want to see where this is all unfolding.
And don't get me wrong. I think, listen, you live in California, in Los Angeles. I'm not allowed to say where, guys. One time I said the general 900-mile radius, and Sarah had a few words with me off air. Everyone thinks I run the ship over here, but Miss Fraser was not pleased with me. So you live in LA. I live in LA. I'm okay to say I actually live in Hollywood proper. I'm not, I have security, and no one's going to come for me. If they do, they're going to jail. But we live in the business, so nothing shocks me. I stand by what I said. When you sue a company, it's the least likely chance you'll ever go back. There's Carlos and Nene. So Nene's rep, call me Nene's rep. You're lying, because Carlos is on there. I see Mr. King. I see Miss King.